And the more you stand on your story, the easier everything becomes. Getting media, finding your ideal clients, targeting your message, selling your products, because that's exactly what it is, all right? And so the more authentic you are, the easier it is to be able to sell what you have. Okay, gorgeous. I'm going to slide over here. All right. So now at this piece of the program, what I love to do is always have you talk with a few of my clients. And you know, I think that I have the best clients because I do. And you know, the one thing I will say about all my clients, they're smart. You guys are. They're sharp. Everyone is. They believe in self-investment. That's why you're here. So no one ever comes to any of my events on a complimentary ticket. Why? Because a part of my target market is I attract investors. And I tell you that not for any other reason other than say that you need to understand who you're attracting always in your market message as well. But what's also really cool about all of my clients is that they all do neat and groovy different things. And so today you're going to have an opportunity to hear from some of your peers, and I can pull any single one of you out of the audience and do exactly the same thing. Now they do not know the questions, but none of them are hard, okay? And I think my only goal is to support you with hearing different ways that they've created success, or how they've made coaching work for them, or a result or a solution that has happened as a result of them working with me or deciding for themselves to own their own message and their marketing and their brand. All right? All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
So a round of applause for these wonderful ladies. So, you know, the very first question is, if you don't mind introducing yourself, and the way I want you guys to introduce yourself is if you don't mind telling us your name, who you are, and who you serve, okay?
My name is Carol Hunter, and I am the money mender, and I support women with broken finances by helping them to achieve financial freedom with confidence and courage.
Very good.
My name is Dr. Julian Williams-Beckles. I serve people who suffer with hair and scalp disorders. My ideal message is wellness lifestyle, because when you look at hair loss, most of the time hair loss is from an internal issue, and that's the end result, so it's just a side effect. So I call myself, I always look at living lovely. I love to live lovely, so that's my message. Living lovely, healthy with beauty.
Hello, I'm Camille. I'm a fertility expert, and I support women on their fertility journey. Women who have been struggling to get pregnant, I help them achieve that goal.
My name is Dr. Yolanda Lindsay, and I'm a board-certified dermatologist. I'm also a licensed cosmetologist and a hair loss expert, and I support women and men who are dealing with hair loss directly, and I also support beauty professionals, cosmetologists, and trichologists looking to up-level their education so that they can take advantage of this multi-billion-dollar-a-year hair loss industry.
I'm Dr. Colleen Hawthorne. I am the Vibrant Living Strategist, and I support achieving top-level, high-profile, and visibility leaders such as yourself to live vibrantly, fully alive, show up big in your lives, not only as you've done in your career and professional lives, but in the rest of your life, to live authentically, fully out at home and work and play. I do that in various capacities. I do that I'm also a psychiatric medicine physician, concierge psychiatrist, so I do that through that capacity as well as through my writing as an author and my work as a health and wellness coach and consultant.
So what I think is so interesting is that sometimes we think it takes a long time to create a result, and it doesn't, all right? And so one of the things that I want to talk with each of you guys about, if you would share one thing that you've been able to do relatively quickly to be able, that's added to your success or supported your success. It could be a product that you created, like a book or an ebook or a course, or it could be outsourcing. So what is that one thing that you've been able to do that really made a big difference in your business?
Well, what I've done recently is I took one of my shorter programs, which would normally be about a 4-week program, which was a low-cost program. I turned it into a 6-month mentoring program, And as a result of doing that, in a 4-week period of time, with my first session, I generated over $22,000 after 4 weeks of launching it. And then in my second program that came along shortly afterwards, I turned around and generated about $15,000. So, you know, $37,000 in a 7-week period of time of business is pretty good, I think.
So if you guys don't mind holding your applause, I will tell you that there's so much to applaud here, okay? And so Carol, so you were successful as a business owner before we met, right?
Yes.
And so now you are marketing online. So talk to them a little bit about that piece.
Okay, so I'm 56 years old, so I've been around for a while. So when I started out, I didn't have any mentors, any coaches. There were no Mias. There was nobody but Jesus, basically, and the Holy Spirit telling me what to do, to the point that I didn't even really realize I was in business at first. I was just helping people free, and, you know, Mia and I talked about that, of course. And so I came up under the old school model where there were no emails, barely fax machines, no social media whatsoever. And so we were still doing direct mailing and, you know, literally calling people. I have databases where you still have pager numbers. And so, you know, I went through a really horrific divorce. And after doing that, I spent 4 years in my wilderness, if you will, healing myself and getting myself back ready. And when I came out of that season, I took my remnant of me and my business and my systems and my products that I had, and I had to learn quickly how to function in the 21st century model. With social media, I didn't know Facebook, I didn't know Twitter, I didn't know Instagram, I didn't know any of that. So when I met Mia, we struck up a conversation and we kind of hit it off. We were both keynoting at the same conference in North Carolina, and we met in the lobby. And so we ate fish and grits and drank champagne and wine and whatever all weekend. And then, of course, we started talking on a different level. And she realized what I needed more so than what I realized. And so as we talked, I decided to allow her to mentor me so that I could get to this level. And so she told me, she said, if you do what I tell you to do, she said, in a 3-month period of time, I promise you, you'll increase your bottom line by at least $6,000. And so since meeting her and coming into this mentoring program, my income has gone 5 times higher than what it was at the time when I met her, because I was just coming out and really playing full on, as she says. And so, you know, the rest is history.
So Dr. Germain, so if you don't mind telling them about some product that you've created, something quickly.
All right, I have completed my first book. I've been wanting to write a book for 20 years. And on meeting Mia, I met Mia 6 months ago. On meeting Mia and doing the mentoring classes with Mia, Mia said, you know, it's time. And within 3 months of doing personal coaching with Mia, I was able to complete this book, which should be released this month. I was able to do a new website where I'm right here now projecting myself. I've also organizing at present some online classes in different areas in the, as I said again, the beauty industry. So I also have a next book which is almost completed, and now I'm saying all of this
So
in
2 books.
3 months. In 3 months, because Mia said you need to serve, you need to find your niche, you need to answer a question. And for me, answering a question was, why am I losing my hair? Can you please tell me? This is what people come into my office and ask me. You know, and it was so frequent that people were coming in with different internal issues. One in particular was diabetes. And a lot of people were having a lot of injections done and all sorts of things. But they didn't even know that they had diabetes, including children, juvenile diabetes. So if you understand that it was juvenile diabetes, it means that you would also understand that alopecia areata goes, it's autoimmune. So what I'm saying is my whole thirst of sharing information and giving knowledge was, how can I serve? How can I help someone by, you know, at least assisting them to understand the lifestyle disease that cause hair loss.
Awesome, thank you. Camille?
Well, for me, actually, when I started with Mia, I didn't have a business. I had an idea of a business, and so I would say in a short time, basically, I got my website up. I did webinars. I have a Facebook group, and I got clients. So, yes.
And how long have we been working together?
This one would be about a year.
Okay.
When I met Mia a year ago on social media, I just had an idea that has always been there to write a book. And I wanted to write a book for women and men dealing with hair loss from a medical perspective, like a sister girl explaining to you what you have going on. And Mia really helped to elevate my vision. And she said, oh, so now you want to do your coaching program. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's do that. And so what we did was we took the book, which is the information that I've been teaching for free for years to hairstylists, and then I packaged that into a 12-week in-depth virtual course. And this course that I already had been doing, and I was learning to monetize it passively. And so within the past 3 weeks since we launched in the end of October, we generated $10,000 in our beta launch. And so this is my first time doing this. Mia walked me all the way through that. Now I have my second course that is going to be starting on Cyber Monday, which is a 4-week clear skin boot camp. And it's just like now that once you get the systems in place, it makes it just like, okay, I can do this. And the book will be, we're finalizing the cover, and the book will be out within the next month as well. So it's just really exciting to see, as we were sharing earlier, in medical school, they teach us how to, diagnose and treat, but not how to make money, and not how to be a business person and how to leverage what you know. So I'm just leveraging what I already know, what I've been doing for years for free or for in the office. And so I'm like, wow, this is so cool that I can take this and package it in a different way. And so I'm just really grateful to Mia being able to just, elevate. And that's what a coach will do for you, is help you see a vision that you don't even see for yourself. And so after last night, I got some more things that we'll be doing.
We were old dark early, right?
What's
Last night we were old dark early.
Yes.
It was about 12:30 in the morning.
Yes. So I've been working with Mia for about 5 to 6 months, I believe. And in that short period of time, I've been able to complete my book. We're in the editing stages at this point. And before meeting Mia, I had kind of remnants, pieces of different things. I had a manuscript that I started in 2009 that really wasn't completed. I had a little bit, some ideas about coaching, program, just ideas here and there. And, when I met Mia during that consultation call, really Mia had me at hello. She totally saw me, saw the need clearly, very, very clearly. We were able to step right in and pull together these projects that, for years had pretty much eluded me. So as I said, we're completing, or have completed, the first draft of the book. We're in the editing stages, and Mia's walking me through the fun stages now. Of finding the photographer and the makeup artist for the photo shoot and those fun things, and she makes that a lot of fun also. In addition, similar to Dr. Lindsay, Mia saw that we had our coaching program right there. As we really started writing the book, she said, look, this is the coaching program as well. Why don't we do both in tandem? And I'm like, okay, but we did, and actually that should be completed in the next several weeks as well. So, what was taking me, starting 2009, in literally less than 6 months, we have completed that and much more.
What I think is thank you so much, ladies. What I think is so interesting is that each and every one of you have a great opportunity to work in partnership. So whether we're talking about affiliate partners or whether we're talking about corporate opportunities, I think as a result of us all talking, we've talked about opportunities that you've had an opportunity to kind of strategically align with someone else to either help sell your products, affiliates, or a potential corporate opportunity or positioning. And so I know I'm going to put you on the spot for this, right? But the fact of the matter is I want you to talk a little bit about what that has looked like as a result of us talking, all right? So what I mean by that is almost all of you guys are creating product, right? You have a book or you have an audio. So sometimes it's thinking about who else might need the products. So when you're creating a book, it's not just the book. It's really thinking about what other brands might want to buy that product, who might want to private label that product, because that's really where the dollars are, right? So like Dr. Yolanda, you do, hair, healthy hair. So looking at strategic partnerships. So can you guys talk a little bit about that, only if it's relevant for you, and or the benefit of strategic partnerships, any, if you formed any? Anyone?
Well, I've been in conversation with the colleges as it relates to incoming freshman students in particular that possibly came to school leaving a home where no one talked to them about money before they became adults. And so I've been talking to them about offering programs to freshman students so that they won't fall into that trap of either too many school loans that they cannot pay for when they graduate, or accumulating too much debt like I did when I first entered college and said yes to those credit cards with work study. And when I walked across the stage with my college degree in accounting, I also had $30,000 of consumer debt that I graduated with also, because there was no one teaching me about how to manage money. And we assume that people just know, but you don't just know how to manage money. You have to learn how to manage money. So that's a conversation that I'm having right now.
Okay. And also, you've been really great at networking. You moved to a new town,
Yes.
right? A new city,
Yes.
new state.
Yes.
Okay. And as a result of that, you had no contacts where you were, correct?
Right.
All right. And it's my understanding you've done a number of strategic partnerships, speaking opportunities with women groups, etc.
Yes, one of the first things I did when I moved from Atlanta after 30 years back to my hometown of Chattanooga, going from 6.3 million people to 200,000, culture shock, I became affiliated with the Mayor's Council for Women. And so we help direct policy in the city of Chattanooga, and one of the mayor's initiatives was Women in Money. And so, of course, I made my voice known because here was a door of opportunity sitting here for me. And so I became the co-chairperson of the Mayor's Financial Literacy for Women Committee. We are currently writing a policy to try to shut down predatory lending in the city of Chattanooga, possibly the state of Tennessee. And as a result of being on the committee with all these power players in the city, I've been aligned with the Chattanooga Women's Leadership Institute, where on next week I will have my second opportunity to keynote for their major events that they have 4 times a year. So I've been the keynote for 2 of the 4.
So that's networking at the right level. You see that, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else want to go?
I would say that trichology is the scientific study between hair and scalp disorders and related diseases. Most of the time, it's not really understood, although it's been there around since 1902. It's important for persons to understand what it is. I see it as the bridge between cosmetology and dermatology, and my alliances, I would really like to work with Dr. Yolanda. She's awesome. There's so much as far as medical as the aspect that I can learn from her, that I want to be able to say, because I live in the Caribbean, and because I want to be able to say, now you need to go to your doctor and say to your doctor that you need X, Y, and Z, and be able to say it with strength. If alternative is not working for you, so that's my alliances. That's what I'm trying to align myself with, apart from, at present, working with certain doctors in Trinidad. I want to be able to align myself internationally, and this book, Diabetes and Hair Loss, one good review I got several good reviews, but this one resonated with me because I took it to a general practitioner, and he went through a couple chapters in the book, and he said, his review was, this should be a handheld guide to doctors, to all physicians who actually have persons suffering with not just hair loss, but persons who are suffering with diabetes. He believed that the information should be so greatly received that he gave me that special sign and improvement of, So according to Mia, I am looking at the Diabetes Association also, as far as that look, and I really want to impart that information because, as I said, living lovely is important to me.
So what I think also is really interesting is that for whatever reason, a lot of my clients have a hair connection. Okay, so I don't know what that is, all right? But a lot of my clients have a hair connection. So last time I was in Tobago, I met Melissa, right? Melissa right here, and you're a trichologist also. And then I mentioned that one of my clients, who was Dr. Yolanda Lindsay, was writing this book about hair loss. And she said, oh, I love Dr. Yolanda, but I'm in Tobago. This is my first time there. She had met Dr. Yolanda, okay? And then Jermaine is a trichologist also. And the world is really very small because the way I met Jermaine is actually from someone that owns the first, right, a beauty school in Trinidad and Tobago. I went to speak to promote one of my events to a women entrepreneurship group in Trinidad and ended up meeting Esne, who was your best friend, and they came to my retreat back in March. So I think that you see a common thread here in terms of if you are just showing up and being authentically who you are and talking about there are connections, there are opportunities that are just waiting on you, all right? All right, who's next? It's not any order, anything.
One of the two alliances that I've been able to make, just piggybacking on that event that you just spoke of, I'm on the board of directors for the Cicatricial Alopecia Research Foundation, which is a patient organization that supports women and men who have scar and alopecia. So last year, the board came to me and said there's Dr. Kingsley, who was looking for a dermatologist to come and speak at their trichology conference, and they know I'm into this kind of thing. So I said, okay, I'll go. And that's how I met Melissa and Jermaine the first time, as well as other trichologists. So at that time, I had no product. I had nothing really going on. People were coming up to me after, was like, how can I work with you? So I was like, okay, it's coming. So I got their email addresses, and that's how the young lady, Zakia, who was there, she just invited me back to speak in Trinidad at the Caribbean Hair Loss Conference. So and that started from a free speaking. Me going to that first conference was a free event that I went to do on behalf of my board, the board of directors that I'm on. As the board, we have to do certain things. And through that alliance, I met like 100 trichologists there, or students of trichology, and from there, these other alliances came. So sometimes, people don't have the money to fully pay you your fee, but with your ability to leverage that can lead to other things. And the second alliance that I wanted to tell you about is this come from my work with Periscope. Several product companies have approached me, because you know how certain products will say dermatologist recommended. So they said, Dr. Yolanda, do you have a program where people can get your stamp of approval? And I said, okay, I will. And so a couple of different companies have come to me, and I've given them some information about what that would look like for me to give my recommendation of their product. So that's going to be another alliance that I'll be able to help these small brands to increase their visibility, because as a physician, people do listen to what I have to say, and people know they can trust me, and I don't put my name behind something that I don't feel like it's a good product. So I said, well, I'll try it first on myself, then I'll have some of my patients try it, and then we work it through that step. So I'm really excited about that.
Isn't this helpful?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and in my work with Mia, we are looking at the opportunities to come, some corporate opportunities to approach and pitch my products to.
Right, I wouldn't say who,
Okay.
but
Okay, so the early stages of that, and I can say that, certainly the level at which I was thinking initially, in working with Mia, the ideas of that have just gone to a whole nother level. And so learning that, or having her input early on, allows me to position myself, at a higher level, just starting out, not shrinking in this, but really going to that higher level. So I encourage everyone, along that line. Mia has incredible ideas and definitely will help you up level your ideas.
So I think what's interesting is a lot of us, we create product. But when you create product, what you really want to be thinking about is who needs your product. Who needs to buy your product in bulk? All right, who might want to private label your product, or your, or as a result of you being and having a certain level of expertise, pay you for your voice, your stamp of approval. So it's not about what it looks like. Remember, status. It's about what it is, all right? People don't ever have to know your name, know that you even created the product. You guys can write books and create amazing things that can be part of app placement. Your information just from your books, it could be parts of apps that people are using every single day. You'll get paid for it, and it's a license to use agreement for your content. So one of the things that I think is so important is that you guys each in your own ways found ways to do strategic partnerships or be open to that, because sometimes we think that that's not available to us. All right, does that make sense? All right, the other thing I think is so important is that there's some new technology out here that a year ago, or maybe a year and a half ago, that none of us would have been using, right? So how many of my clients are using Periscope or Facebook Live? Hands raised, okay. All right, so that's cool, right? All right, so but what I would love for you guys to do, for those of you who are using the tool, those are the only ones I want to respond, I want you to talk about, one, your initial fear in embracing this level of technology, how you overcame it, and literally, how do you use it, and if there are any results that have happened as a result of using these platforms, what are they?
Okay, so for me, I'm a very type A person. And so Mia and I have had many conversations about this. So I normally take very calculated risks with everything. And so when Mia was telling us on our coaching calls, you guys, I really think you need to do Periscope, and it's so easy. You know, she says that all the time, right? It's so easy, you know, just get out there and do it. And so I'm like, okay, let me go to Google this and find out what this Periscope thing is all about, and let me write down all the steps, and let me try this, and let me try that. And Mia kept saying, Carol, just do the Periscope. You're smart, you can do that. So I finally took the leap, and the very first time I took the leap, I didn't know how to make my camera face me. So I'm on Periscope at my mom's house in my old childhood bedroom with some big slippers on, just all chilling out in the bedroom, clothes hanging up from where I came in town. And this is what my audience is seeing. And I'm going, oh my God, and they're sending me all these cards. And I'm like super embarrassed. I'm like, this is so embarrassing, you guys. I said, somebody please tell me what to do. So I said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hang up from Periscope. Disconnect is what I should have been saying. I'm going to hang up, you guys, and I'm going to go and Google and figure out what I'm supposed to do. And so, lo and behold, I did exactly what I said. And then when I came back, the most rewarding thing was everybody started coming back on, and I got all of these hearts. I didn't even know what hearts meant at the time, and Mia was like, oh, that's great, you got all the hearts. And so they came back, they supported me, and so every week I just kept doing it until I got better. And then Mia would tell us about the equipment that you could purchase, the stands, everything that made it better. And so because it was working for her and she was monetizing, if she said, order the stand from this company and it'll do this and do that, I was online ordering the stand because I'm like, why make it hard for myself? Just duplicate. And so as a result of doing that, I have all these new people in my funnel, all these new people that I would have never met from around the world in my community. I get the opportunity now to mentor and coach a lot of those people that remember those slippers that were facing them on that day. And so I've been able to grow my target market as a result of just getting out there, moving my type A little self out of the way, and just taking the risk and get better as I go, because it really does work and you can monetize from it.
Yes, thank you so much for that. Dr. Yolanda.
I love Periscope. and I've been doing Facebook Live as well. I signed up for the app about a year ago when around the time of Black Friday, Black BizScope, I love the initiative that they were doing. And so I just started following people, seeing what it was all about. And then some months later, I decided to start scoping. And it was, I was like, okay, I kind of like this. I like the people. It's like a show. So how I position my Periscope is I have a daily show called Lunch and Learn with Dr. Yolanda. So guys, I'm positioning this because I want to get on TV ultimately. So I'm positioning this product. I'm up to about 30 shows now with Lunch and Learn with Dr. Yolanda. And we've been able to achieve 500 to 800 live views. We've been able to grow our following to about over 3,000 and really be able to network with other people. So that's been the greatest win. Also, I take the Periscope sometime into the exam room when I have a patient who consents, who has something interesting to see. I use it as a way of patient education. So dermatology is awesome because it's a visual specialty. So I can actually show you what a melanoma looks like. I can show you what alopecia areata looks like, and I can show you my results. So that's beautiful. So the other day, just to give you a quick example, I had a patient who I've been seeing for 2 years who has scarring alopecia, who generally doesn't regrow. She had significant regrowth. So I said, listen, would you mind teaching the people what's going on? So patients love to be able to teach. So we went into the room, we Periscope. I showed her before a picture from my iPad, and I showed her head. They were like, oh my God, they were tapping the screen. One of my new students in my course, she emailed me that night because she said she wanted to take the course, but she didn't really have the money. She emailed me after that. She said, after I saw that, I'm going to find the money. And so she said, live stream, like Mia said, it takes that. I think they said you need to usually have 13 touch points with a person before they decide to invest with you. People will do it quicker because they're able to see that you're real. And so I highly encourage you guys to live stream because it doesn't have to be perfect. It's like that's what people love about it. And you're able to respond to questions, and you can definitely monetize.
That's right. How many of you guys met me via Periscope or Facebook? Okay, Periscope. So this is just a great thing, right? So about 8 people here today.
I
All
did
right.
Facebook Live.
You met me from Facebook Live?
No, I met you from Periscope, but I Facebook Live now.
Yes.
And that is basically because I had 0 mailing list, and that is how I got my clients, only from Facebook Live. I didn't do anything else. And now I'm gonna start Periscope. I did meet Mia from Periscope because she was Periscoping this event.
That's right.
Last year, and that's how I found her. But all my clients I got from Facebook Live, and anytime I do Facebook Live, I get engagement. Even if they do not respond there, they will send me, they will PM me because they watch the replay. But my client, my list, Facebook Live.
So isn't that cool? And then how much exactly is Facebook Live and Periscope? It's free, okay? So what's really cool is it's a great marketing tool. It's something that's available to every single one of us. Yes, isn't it cool?
It's cool. I just want to say, Mia, yesterday you were live, or was it yesterday or the day before, let's say Thursday. And Mia was live and
Facebook Live.
yeah, Facebook. And when you said, I was just listening, just walking around, and when you said, hi, Kathy, that's what made you, and I've known you in the past.
Yeah, sure.
But that hi, Kathy made you real.
Yes.
And
That's
I
the
was
coolest
like,
part about live
yeah, at the phone waving.
And I think that's such an interesting point because I think when people watch you via live stream, that even if the people don't know you, when they're watching streams with you, they're spending time with you. So by the time they make a decision, they can decide, I want to coach with you. So there is, she's not here right now. Dr. Yolanda, for example, had posted, she was an affiliate partner for the Time for Mommy Virtual Retreat. She sold a ticket and she received half of the ticket price, okay, which was really cool. Then, Shatan, who was here last night, she had a church function, she'll be here later today. She had a church function today. Shatan bought the ticket, who I did not know, but she was on your Periscope stream, correct?
Yep.
Now Shatan comes and looks at one of my scopes, refers Michelle Dunstan, who I did not know, and gives her How to Show Like a Giant, one of the Periscopes I did last week. And then Michelle buys a $567 program, How to Leverage What You Know, and I had never met her. So it's pretty powerful. All of this happened within the same day of doing that scope. So if you are not using live stream, you should be using live stream, and hopefully hearing these guys today. All right, one quick tip, all right, that you guys will, why is coaching important? So not so much about me, but what about coaching is important to you? Why do you think anyone that isn't coaching, or if you are coaching, how you guys coach like students, right? Because I have to say you're like an incredible implementer. And so if you can share one thing that you're doing that made coaching work for you, or that someone that's maybe thinking about coaching needs to be thinking about, or if you've invested in coaching, how to show up in that way.
For me, it's going to be elevation and community.
So, because you had accountability partners, so tell them a little bit about that.
Yes, with my accountability partners, I have awesome accountability partners because we're all moving and shaking and making things happen. And so when we have our weekly calls, which we've been very faithful and committed to, you don't want to be the person on the call when it's your time to speak about what you're doing and what you're going to be doing next. You don't want to be the person saying, I'm getting ready to, or I'm trying to. You want to be very matter of fact and say, this is what I did the week before. These are the results that I received, and this is what I'm doing next week. So it's good to be challenged to have that accountability in place so you can continue to elevate in your business, because we all have lives. We all have things going on. And I'm not a procrastinator, but it's easy to say, I'm tired today, I'm going to get into bed, versus at 8:30 on Monday nights when I know I got to show up. I better have some results. That's all I got to say.
That's awesome. And you guys she's in the Core Moms coaching program, and they all get matched with your ambition level and above. So it's pretty cool. You have to check in on Mondays.
Yes.
You have to say what you're going to do for the week, and then you have to check in on Fridays and say what you write in Friday and say what you actually did do. And then once a month you hop on a call. Now some groups make it their own and they get into it. Your group really did a great job. What about you, Joanne?
Well, I would say that I am one of these people who's self-motivating.
Yes.
So I never thought I needed a coach until I realized that I wanted to move my business from one level to the next, and I didn't know how exactly to do it. And after meeting Mia Redrick, and understanding why you need a coach to take you to the next level, and about accountability, because I've always been accountable to myself, because I know what looks good to me. So that's what I was striving for. But now I'm getting there much faster, and I'm being held I would say, hold my hand, so that because I, as Carol said, I am 59 years old. I don't have time for mistakes, because I've been there, done that. I've been in the beauty industry for over 40 years. So what I'm saying is, I realized then that I need a coach to take me to the next level where I needed to go. I needed that special guidance, and I do one-on-one coaching when I need that extra push, because I don't ask questions in a group, but when I'm a one-on-one, I ask questions, so I learn much more that way. So I need a coach. Right?
And I think that's an interesting point, because there are people who are in group coaching programs, and sometimes you need also some level, you might need to up-level your package, you might need to have a one-on-one piece also to get maximum value. Camille.
Okay, so why I would recommend coaching. For one, I'm pretty friendly and outgoing, but when you're stepping into new territory, sometimes you feel like you're gonna die. Like, oh my gosh, if I do this Facebook Live, the world is gonna fall. But then you have somebody like me, and I'm like, no, it's gonna be okay. You just go ahead and do it. Then when you do it, you see like it was okay. And the learning curve is like cut dramatically. There have been times like I've been Googling stuff or trying to find out stuff, and Mia would call, and she was like, what are you working on? But I can't find this, and I can't. She's like, oh, so-and-so. I'm like, okay. And she was right, so it takes the guesswork out. It decreases your time. The accountability is amazing. And we're all here amongst like minds, but as you know, when we leave here, you really don't have that support. So then you begin to start to doubt yourself and wonder if it's really worth it. But if you're meeting with people weekly, it keeps you on your game steadily. So that is why I would suggest coaching with you.
For me, I would say coaching has been something that has allowed me to reach my goals a lot faster. Also, I'm finding that, you know how they say there's an app for that, there's a coach for that. So I have a couple of different coaches now. Like I have social media coach. I have somebody helping with my course with like little like things that I need, like with my portal. And so what I'm finding is that I work 9 to 10 hour days in the office. And for me, it's helpful to be able to have a team in place. And Mia exposed me to just the outsourcing. Because I can get to my phone, I have 5 minutes between the page, and I say, hey, listen, can you do this flyer for me real quick? Can you do this for me real quick? And then I come back at the end of the day, and it's right there, and I'm like, yes. You know, and so it just makes it definitely makes it work. So I would say coaching is something that I heard Mia say, you have to invest in your solution. And that's what I said today on the Periscope. Whatever solution you need, you have to invest in that solution. And so that's what I've done, and it's working for me.
Oh, awesome. I love that you said that, because I think sometimes we invest in our fears. It's very easy to buy your fears. If you don't have something, it's what you focus on, what you don't have. So it's easy if you hear someone talking about your fears, right, that say, that's me. Okay, but the question is, that's not where you're going. Okay, so invest in where you're going, and you'll always get greater results.
I would say 2 things for me would be clarity and connection as being really valuable with coaching. You know, there are ideas you may have or thoughts, you're trying to work something out, really streamline it, and the clarity that comes in coaching just, you know, almost instantly, you know, it's priceless. Also the connecting with someone that you know is absolutely there for you. You can be vulnerable, you can just say anything, so that level of trust is just key in terms of really getting to what you know, questions you have answered, getting to whatever fears you have, blockages, so that you can move those out of the way really quickly and move on with the business of what you're trying to do.
Awesome. Are there any questions for these ladies before we wrap up? Any questions? Yes.
From each one of you, what was the thing that you did not know you needed in Mia Baby?
What did
Say it again?
Because, you know, Mia is she has a lot. So when you're going through her core courses, she teaches you different levels. Was there something that you needed that you did not know and Mia identified it? That's the question.
Yeah, sure.
I would say options. Options in terms of how to monetize, how to use the information, the knowledge you know. You know, you may think, well, I had these 10 ideas, and if for every of your 10, Mia's got 100. And so really looking at those options just really broadens your message and broadens the way you can really help others in bigger, larger ways.
For me, it's been one of the things that I learned from me that I did not know that I needed was outsourcing. Spending that money is just like, it's a no-brainer. Because at first I was like, oh, I don't know about having somebody do this and that. Because I know how to do PowerPoints and I know how to do research, but you know, my hourly rate is so much higher than I can just pay like 5 people to do that. In an hour, it'll take me to put something together. And so outsourcing by far.
I would say that basically it's okay to do it your way. Like I would ask her advice of, do you think I should do like conference, PowerPoint, like video? And she was like, whatever works for you. Whatever works for you. Once you have the message and your target audience, you really don't have to get all fancy and elaborate. So simplicity and whatever works for you.
Okay, so I would say again, outsourcing. Outsourcing was very important for me. I never knew about outsourcing like that before and how easy it is. Also, I speak a lot in different programs and so, and monetizing. I do a lot of free speaking, and I didn't know how to actually turn that into business. You know, because people would leave conferences also whenever I'm there to say something. And it's always, you know, I'm so empowered, but how do I monetize that? So when Mia told me the right price, no, Jermaine, you don't put this on the website. You put that and let people contact you, and then we discuss. So again, monetizing and understanding the right cost and the right scale, the right scaling was important for me. That's what I got from you.
Right, so it's interesting because sometimes if you can have a very pretty website, but if you don't have a website that is making money, what good is it? It doesn't matter how pretty it is. It doesn't matter what it looks like, it matters what it is. So whenever you're designing your sites and things like that, one of the things you want to be focusing on are the streams of income that are clear for your consumer. So remember that. It's okay, my coach who has made tons of millions of dollars in her business, always had the most basic websites ever. She was just not into the fancy, and I'm so grateful that I learned that from her because she was achieving at a high level, and I never fell into that. That it's what it looks like. It's really what it is. Okay.
The one thing that stands out for me is the conversation that we had when I was moving from Georgia to Tennessee, and I was really sweating. I'm leaving this huge market, going into this really small market. What does that mean for my business? And the perspective that she gave me in our conversations about it to find the benefits that were actually attached to being the big fish in a small market. Because I was so lost in leaving the big market, she said, well, no, just go ahead and be the big fish in the small market and change your perspective on it and just do what you do. So that was priceless for me.
Oh, well, you guys are priceless. I think what makes a great coaching relationship are clients that implement. So it's not what you're learning, it's what you do with what you're learning, all right? And that's what makes coaching work. Wouldn't you guys all agree? All right. So it's implementation, every single one of you. Anyone that's creating results in their business, that is true. And I also believe that your life informs your business, all right? We didn't talk much about that today, but it's really true. So when you look at how you want to live, the models that you're going to create to monetize are based on how you want to live. You know, for me, I run my business, you guys know, from home. All right, I work 30 hours a month, 9 o'clock at night to midnight. I think you guys can probably finish that from my periscopes, right? All right, and that's because that's how I want to live. I like to have my days free, and you can do anything, and you can have any model you want. It's up to you. There is a virtual question from Michelle. Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
Okay, it's on outsourcing. How do you find those to outsource different projects? There are a couple tools. That's a great question that I recommend. Upwork.com is a great tool. UPWORK.com is a great tool. Also, Fiverr, you can get anything done for $5. Fiverr's. And then I like onlinejobs.ph, which is working with people from the Philippines. You can get almost anything done in the Philippines for $2.50 an hour. All right, and high-level people, if you want to work with someone with a master's degree, then you're talking about $4.50 to $6.50 an hour. All right, my accountant, Jimmy, is a CPA. I pay Jimmy $5.50 an hour to manage my books. So that's the answer to that. One of the things that's really important if you're going to outsource is check the references over the last 3 months. You'll also, if you're going to use onlinejobs.ph or if you're going to use Fiverr, you need to set up something called Time Doctor. Time Doctor will allow you to be able to see how they're spending their time. It takes screenshots of the people who are working for you so you can make sure in real time that they are doing the work that you're billing them for. So that's a really great tool. Upwork also has that built in internally for them. So checking the references is just really important. All right, so with that, we're done, guys. A round of applause here for these ladies. Okay. So we're going to meet downstairs, and we're going to go, and Marcy's up next. And I'll give you guys, let's say, 10 minutes to get down, grab yourself, and get down. All right?
We're going to do the Conway round.